Hey everyone, welcome back to Education Then and Now. This shows we're reconnecting with some old friends who helped us build the world of education we live in now today. And when I say old friends, I mean like really old, like 300 years old. But it's been a minute, and it's time that today we catch up with them with some familiar faces from the Enlightenment and early education. First, we have John Locke, one of the key thinkers of the Enlightenment and someone who shaped many ideas we use in education today. He believed every child starts as a blank slate and is shaped by experience and learning. Locke thought education should teach good habits, clear thinking, and strong character, not just facts. He also is the friend who can turn any simple conversation into a thoughtful one, which is why we're glad to have him here today. Next, we have Mary Wollstonecraft, one of the first and strongest voices for women's rights. She believed women deserve the same chances to learn and grow as men, and she argued that education helps people become independent and confident. She challenged the ideas that girls should only be trained for household roles and pushed for real equality and learning. She also is that friend who won't let you think small and always pushes you to do better. Mary is a great to have back. And last but not least, we have Horace Mann, often called the father of American public school systems. He believed that free education for everyone was important for a strong and fair society. Mann worked hard to make sure that schools had trained teachers, clear lessons, and public funding so that all children could learn. If you've been in public school or taken a standardized test, you felt his impact. We're glad to have him here today, thanking him for joining us. So to kick things off, I want to ask each one of you something huge but very simple. When you look back at your work, what do you think is the biggest impact on education?
Hi everybody, my name is John Locke and I'm so excited to be here today on this podcast. One of the bigger things that I want to contribute to this question is saying that my biggest impact was showing that children are not born with fixed ideas. Every child starts as a blank slate. What they learn, experience, and practice shapes who they become. I wanted education to train the mind to reason, develop good habits, and build virtue, not just memorize ideas. Helping people see that learning shapes both character and citizenship is what I'm proud of.
Hi, I'm Mary Wollstonecraft, and I'm really excited to be here. For me, my biggest impact was definitely fighting for women's education. I argued that women deserve the same opportunity as men to develop their minds, reason, and understanding. At the time, though, most people thought that was complete nonsense, but I stood firm. I wanted co-education to take root for women to be empowered through learning. Seeing women today access education and leadership roles is proof that these ideas mattered, and I'm really happy that they did.
I'm Horace Mann, and what do I think is my biggest impact on education is that I wanted to focus on making education universal, and that meant that every child, regardless of class, could learn and grow. I worked to create the common school system, which would do just that. I also supported women's education and believe that the public schooling could serve as a tool for equality, helping all children develop skills, knowledge, and moral foundation that's needed to participate in society.
Okay, thank you for all y'all great answers. But my next question is, how did the Enlightenment help form your views on education? I want to start with Mary.
The Enlightenment convinced me that all humans possess the capacity for reason and understanding, including women. It gave me the confidence to argue that women deserve equal access to education so they can think independently, make moral decisions, and participate fully in society. Without the influence of these ideas, I might have never challenged the social norms that kept women from developing their minds and contributing as equals.
Similarly to Mary's point, the Enlightenment emphasized reason, observation, and the rights of the individual. That inspired me to see education as a way to cultivate a child's ability to think critically, make moral judgments, and act responsibly. I wanted education to train minds to reason rather than just simply follow tradition and memorize facts. It showed me that learning can shape not only character, but also society.
Thank you, Mary and Locke. For me, the Enlightenment reinforced the belief that education is essential for equality and democracy. It showed me that a well-educated population can reason and make just decisions and actively contribute to the common good. Those principles inspired my work on the Common School to ensure that every child, regardless of wealth or status, could benefit from learning and grow into an informed, responsible citizen.
Thank you all for your great answers yet again. And my next question is, in your view, what should a good education system look like?
I believe a good education system should be provided by the state. It should be universal, accessible, and supportive for every child, and the state will help do that. The state can also help provide skilled teachers, organized instruction, and a safe environment where students can grow academically and morally, and that will prepare them to contribute to a fair, informed, and democratic society.
Thanks, ma'am. A good education system must be inclusive, ensuring that boys and girls alike have the opportunity to develop their minds and confidence. It should definitely teach students to reason, make ethical choices, and respect themselves and others. Education should also empower all learners to become independent thinkers, capable of shaping society, rather than leaving opportunity confined to a privileged few. I also believe that a state education system would be quite beneficial.
Great points, guys. But I think a good education should cultivate children's ability to think critically, develop virtuous habits, and grow in moral character. It should encourage curiosity, allowing students to explore ideas freely and focus on understanding. Education should prepare individuals not only to acquire knowledge, but to participate responsibly and thoughtfully in society. But at the end of the day, I lean more towards homeschooling because a child will be shaped by the parents and their ways, rather than letting the outside world dictate their ways and habits.
Great points yet again, but my next question is, who should education really be for? Is it for everybody or just certain groups?
That's a great question, but I think we all have the same answer, guys, don't you? Education should be for everyone, not just certain groups. Everyone has the capacity to learn, and regardless of their social class, or wealth, or background, they should be able to learn.
I agree. We all agree.
Wow, that was a great point that y'all all made together. But now my next question is, when you look at state-funded schools, would you say that they promote freedom and learning, or are they more about conditioning students to obey and follow the rules more?
Mary again. Schools should serve as instruments of empowerment and intellectual freedom. Every student, especially girls who have historically been denied learning opportunities, must be given the chance to develop their minds and exercise independent judgment. If education emphasizes obedience over critical thinking, it fails in its essential mission to cultivate thoughtful and capable citizens. Locke, what are we thinking?
I'm thinking it depends on how schools are structured and the intentions behind them. In their ideal form, schools should promote freedom by teaching children to reason, question assumptions, and think independently. However, if the focus shifts solely to memorization, rules, and compliance, education risks becoming a tool of conditioning rather than a path to understanding and personal growth. Man, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, my vision for state-funded schools was always that they would promote equality and the skills necessary for responsible citizenship. Schools should guide students in moral and civic understanding while also nurturing independent thought and curiosity. Education should lift individuals and communities, not merely create conformity or be about compliance. The idea of my common school was that classes would come together to create a perfect society.
Wow, that was a great way of bouncing off each other, guys. But going off of Man's great point, how should education serve the people in the community?
I'll start us off by saying education should cultivate individuals who can think critically, reason effectively, and act with moral integrity. Schools serve not only the students themselves, but the broader community, because well-educated citizens are capable of making thoughtful decisions, contributing responsibly, and strengthening the foundations of society. Knowledge paired with virtue creates more than just a stable community.
Great points, Locke. But education should empower all members of society to participate fully, equally, and independently. When everyone, especially women who were long excluded, has a chance to learn, question, and develop their reasoning, they can challenge injustice, make informed choices, and actively contribute to the common good. A community flourishes when all of its members have the tools to think freely and act wisely.
Thank you, Locke and Wollstonecraft. I agree with both of your points. Education should help individuals think critically and make thoughtful decisions, and would also empower them to participate in society and make change. Education will prepare people to be informed, engaged, and responsible participants in society. And providing universal access and teaching them knowledge and character, schools can strengthen communities and promote equality.
That was great points from all of you guys. But to now finish it off, looking at how everyone in this podcast talked about the issue, what is your vision for the future of education?
My vision for the future of education is of a universal, publicly funded education system that guarantees opportunity, knowledge, and moral formation to every child. Schools should serve as engines of social mobility and instruments of democratic empowerment, equipping students with critical thinking skills, civic understanding, and a commitment to justice and fairness. Education must go beyond vocational training or standardized tests to cultivate character, empathy, and shared sense of responsibility. By investing in the growth of every child, society invests in its own future, creating communities where equality, civic engagement, and human flourishing are not just ideals, but realities that everyone can participate in.
Thank you, ma'am. I hope for a future where education is truly enabling all children, regardless of gender, class, or background, to develop their minds, exercise reason, and cultivate moral and intellectual courage. Social norms confront injustice and act with compassion and integrity. By fostering independent thought, resilience, and a sense of social responsibility, schools can create citizens capable of reshaping society into one that values equality, dignity, and opportunity for all. It is not enough for education to teach knowledge, but it must want people to change the world around us for the better good.
As my final point, I want to add that my vision for the education system is that it's going to recognize the inherent potential of every child and nurture it through experience, reflection, and reason. Education should not be a process of passive memorization, but an active cultivation of judgment, moral sensibility, and intellectual independence. When students learn to think critically and act ethically, they not only realize their own capabilities, but also contribute to a society that values justice, civic responsibility, and sharing human flourishing. Education should be the means by which individuals free themselves from ignorance, independence, and become architects of both their own lives and the greater common good.
Wow, what an incredible conversation we had today. A huge thanks to John Locke, Mary Wollstonecraft, and Horace Mann for sharing these ideas, experiences, and visions for education. Thank you, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, it was amazing to hear from how the Enlightenment ideals about reason, equality, and opportunity still shape the way that we all think today about learning. And I hope that our listeners come away from thinking about education not just as a system of schools and tests, but also as a tool to empower, inspire, and give everyone a chance to grow. Thank you all for tuning in and remembering that education is more than knowledge. It's a foundation for freedom, fairness, and a better society. Until next time, keep questioning, keep learning, and keep making education something worth celebrating. This is Education Then and Now, signing out. Testing, seeing if audio is good.
Hopefully we can do this in
Next, we have Mary Woolden. Oh my God. And last but not least, we have Horace Mann. Wait.
The Enlightenment convinced me that all humans Thanks, man. I think a good education system would be equitable.
However, if the focus
For me, my biggest
How do I say that word?
education should empower students to question social. It must teach agency and the.
Wow, that was